My name's Julia, and I'm the Julia part of the morning show with Cruz and Julia. On 98.7 AMP Radio, I'm the morning show host. I've been working for AMP Radio for almost 7 years. I knew I wanted to be on air. I worked part-time at a radio station in Port Huron for like 6 months, that's it. All I did was like one shift a weekend, and I was like, because I told myself, I'm not even gonna bother to try to get on air here first, because the thing that they beat into your head is your first job is never going to be in Detroit, and especially your first full-time job. After 6 months, I was like, I think I kind of got the hang of this. Like, I feel ready to apply for my first full-time job in radio. I think they always kind of knew here my ambition was to do mornings. That's what I wanted to do since I was a kid. So this past June, I got the morning show with Cruz.
Another $1,000 cash code next on 98.7 AMP Radio as we get into your golden garbage as well, Julia.
Yeah, Lena Dunham talking about which of Taylor Swift's ex-boyfriends were the absolute worst.
And there's so many to choose from. Got that for you in 3 minutes. Hang on.
Julia is just a phenom. She's just an absolute monster. For someone who, and I say this respectfully, is as green as she is, she shouldn't be as good as she is. And she shouldn't be as talented as she is. And she shouldn't be as driven as she is. But somehow she is. She's just this anomaly. You can always count on her for good ideas, an opinion on something. So if we're in the office with Nathan, our program director, and Slacker, our assistant program director, and Julia and I, and we're talking about an idea, she's not just going to sit there and go, mm-hmm, or mm-mm. She always has ideas. She's just, I don't know where the energy comes from. I have no idea. She can sprout out 100 ideas like that, which I always thought like I was good at that. And then I met her, I go, oh, okay, I need to like step it up.
Julia, she's the face of 98.7 AMP Radio. Whether it's how she can connect with the audience, whether it's how funny she is, her hair, like people recognize her, people know her, and people kind of gravitate towards Julia. So, I mean, she's a huge piece of the station.
The morning show with Cruz and Julia, 98.7 AMP Radio.
I can't imagine where I'd be and the people I would know now if I didn't work this job. Like, I've gotten to know so many different types of people, and you know, everything that's cool about Detroit and everything that's coming up with Detroit by working like with my feet in this market. And having lived here my whole life, I've never known that, and I wouldn't know that without radio.
For some reason in Detroit, like radio's still really important here. You've had shows that have been on 10, 20, 30 years, which is unheard of in other markets. So for me to be able to say that I'm even on in the same market as some of these just monster shows is really humbling and flattering. So I think that's my favorite part.
Candy for Halloween to pass out. Yeah, you don't have to be stingy anymore. I got that cash code for you around 110 on 98.7 AMP Radio. It's High Hopes with Panic at the Disco.
My name is Kayla Morgan, and I am the midday host here at AMP Radio. Without the community, there wouldn't be any radio. We'll just be another person talking at you. And then with the community, it's like we have friends.
The radio's not going to die because people like community, people like feeling supported, people like togetherness, and that's what radio brings is localization. What makes me personable is I stay true to myself. I talk about if I have a problem. I talk about how 2 days ago somebody called 911 because I was singing in the shower and stuff like that. And you know, when people meet me in person, I like to sit down and talk to them and learn about them because they live in the city too. They could have a really cool job too, or if not, that's okay. Like, I just want to get to know everybody. You know, everyone's saying that the internet ruined radio, but I think it made it come alive. Like, nobody would know who we are, nobody would know our face if it wasn't for it. I've wanted to do radio since I was like under 10. Throughout childhood and growing up, especially being like an insecure little kid, like would talk myself out of it. Like there's no way that I could be the person on the radio. Like hearing my own growth was really cool. And the fact that I knew I worked really hard for it. And that kind of set the tone for like the rest of my life. Like I can work really hard, and even if I suck at something right now, like I can get better at it. People always tell me like, oh, your job's so fun, your job's so easy. It's not easy. Like you're talking to a mass of people. You have to learn how to speak to them in a way that makes them feel comfortable with you. And there's a science to it, and there's a psychology to talking to people that makes them not want to tune away. Learning how to do that has made me a much more empathetic person, and this job in general has made me much more empathetic, and I just like what it's done for my life.